Go? Okay. Hi, this is Kelly Ermeling for Module 16 in Data Analysis and Assessment. The background information on the improvement plan and closing the gaps. I just have that I have been using data to compare the starting place of my students and monitoring their growth and using formative and summative assessments to see where the students lie with their proficiency on our standards that we are working on. I have been working in reteaching during our morning work time and our independent work time at the end of our gradual release lessons when possible. So far, I've been using the data to see what standards need to be addressed again based on their proficiency scores. Things that I have been using specifically this year, just some points to bring up are we have an ELA benchmark that we do 3 times a year. The beginning of the year, rhyming was really low. The majority of kids all throughout first grade came in struggling with rhyming, and through our first go around, the couple units, they didn't improve much, but once we used our data that we found from that, then we hit it hard and rhyming has improved. We also follow our reading levels all year long and test that about every 3 or so weeks so that we can monitor that growth and use that data to help us see where we need to work with those students on their reading levels. And the desired outcome that I have is for my students to be proficient, or my lower level learners to jump at least 2 levels throughout the school year on the standards that we are working on. So that kind of is the first little chunk for me. Oh, what did I do? Where did that go? Do you guys see this? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay. So I guess this is you guys asking question. Per grade level, I'm first grade and we have about 126. I have 20 in my class. I'm doing the 20 that are in my class, and everyone else is doing the students in their classes. District-wide testing, and then yeah, the district testing that they have, but then also our own little site word assessments and just little check-ins and observational data and things like that. Yes, they do. Our ELA curriculum coordinator, she comes up with them, and it is an online test that they take, which also we have decided might be the reason that some of them struggle so much, because they are not wonderful at using computers at this point, and some of the questions are tricky and requires them to click on things and drag them into a rectangle, and we look at some of the tests, and before we even give it, we're kind of blown away a little bit. So that may have something to do with part of the scores also. Okay. The timer went away. Okay, so I guess the kind of help that I want, I would just like to see what kind of extra advice you have on getting that extra help to the students that need it. I find it hard to work that in throughout the day. Like I said, I try to do it during morning work time in the morning and then independent work time also, but then I also get caught up in teaching the students during independent work time that struggled with that particular lesson that day, so I may not have that extra time to go back and reteach what we were struggling with the day before, a couple days before. So that's kind of something that I would like to get a little help with to improve my scores. Correct. Yes. We do. District-wide, we have to do win time is what they named it, what I need. That's our response intervention time, where we switch around and do our data team groups. So we work on that. The thing is with that we don't really have the time that we need to look through our data and analyze it to actually make the best use out of our time for that. So it usually is a last minute thing thrown together. We don't really know we don't have it planned out well to make it beneficial, really. Um, no, no. Mm-hmm. Right. One-on-one or small group. There are 7, so there's 6 other teachers. Kind of the same thing, just when they have extra time and are able to, they pull small groups, or if students are working on something, group work or independent work or partner work, they kind of go around and touch base with those kids who need some extra help that way also. Another problem we're running into is when we are doing independent reading time, which is our biggest chunk of time where they're kind of off working on their own reading. That's when we're supposed to work with reading groups to improve reading scores and things like that. However, that's usually when we are testing our reading levels, because since we have to do it so often, it takes about 2 weeks to get through the class testing them. So we really have about a 2 week or so period where we can check things, and then 2 weeks later, we're right back to checking their levels and everything. So I'm kind of struggling with that. No, we kind of talked about that for our win time groups, doing the RTI at the end of the day. However, our reading instructional time, she, our ELA coordinator, has, we focus mainly on asking and answering key details in a text and learning, talking about the main character of this text and how it is similar to the main character of another text. Things like that. We've really gotten away from actual reading group time in the classroom. How to actually read? Correct. Yeah. Yes, we do. Right. The benchmark is, it does a little bit of content, but it is a lot of phonics also, because we do have phonics time throughout the day. It's just not, it's a program that isn't really working that well. So, sorry, my frustration is kind of coming out through this part. But, um, so anyway, okay, so we're up to 10 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm going to kind of move on. So, for me, what it seems like I should kind of do is just keep meeting with my team and discussing their data and my data and the best ways that we could utilize what we have and try to come up with a plan together. We might be able to figure out better ideas for our RTI groups at the end of the day if we set aside more time for planning to make the best use of our time with that. Also, I could approach my principal to just check and see if there are any extra people in the building that can come in and help me during certain periods of time to give me an extra set of hands to work with some kids in my class that are struggling with some of the standards that we're working on. So, all right. Well, thank you, girls.